So it looks like a legislator in Ohio is recently stepping down because he was caught having sex with a dude in his office. Now, this guy is a huge anti LGBT activist type person, and this always seems to be the case, right? The person who's yelling, who's moralizing the most about it, telling people, this is the way you should live, this is the way you should be, etc. Those are always the people doing what they're advocating people not to do. This always seems to be the case. It's always these people, like for the Republican side, that are like, the gays do this and they're destroying the world and blah, blah, blah. And they're always like caught having sex with like young male escorts. Like I remember there was another guy just recently who was really adamantly against it, etc. Then there's like images of him with like young boys at a resort, and him using like a site to get that. So it's like this happens all the time. And it's the same people as well that are like, don't race mix, don't this, don't that. And then you look and they're looking up porn of like black interracial porn, this and that. This is what they get off on. So it's just really interesting, right? And the same thing happens with the left too, right? Just recently, Lena Dunham came out and she's like, one of her producers has been accused of raping this girl when she was like 17 years old, and she's like coming out saying, "Oh, we stand behind the our producer, and this girl lied, and don't believe the victim. She's one of the 3% times that it's a lie, etc." So it's like all these people who are saying always believe the victim, always do this, they never follow it themselves when it's convenient for them, right? Or when they're like, oh, well, I'll tell everybody else to act like this, but I'm not going to act like this in my own personal life because you're all peasants and I don't have to follow your fucking rules. So people do this on all fucking sides. We're all hypocrites to some extent, but that's why you got to kind of make people live by their own standards, right? If they set these ridiculous standards for everything, it's like, you have to be like this, you have to be like this, then it's like, all right, fine. That means you're going to be highly scrutinized and watched. And as soon as you step out of line, you're going to have 100 fingers pointing right back at you, saying like, hey, look. So we can all see the hypocrisy that's coming out from either side. And it's bipartisan, right? It's not just the left that does it. It's not just the right that does it. We all do it, and we need to call it out when it does happen. And this also doesn't mean that what they are saying is not legitimate and doesn't make sense and have some, credence, etc. Because, people will still make good points, and even though they do these things in their own life, doesn't mean their points that they make are completely invalid. But it doesn't really lend weight to it, at least, right? When you yourself are being very hypocritical. It's just like these celebrities, like Leonardo DiCaprio is like, don't pollute, climate change is bad, but he's flying over the fucking world in his private jet. So it's like, nobody's going to take you seriously. Nobody's going to listen to you and actually follow what you're advocating if you're not following it yourself. So this is a message for all people on all sides. It's like, whatever you're advocating, try your fucking very best to follow it yourself, or just don't set these ridiculous standards that people have to follow. It's like there are authoritarians on either side saying, you have to do this, you have to live like this, you have to live like that. And it's like, this is why I'm for smaller government, freedom of association. I don't want other people trying to dictate my life through the government. There's people on the right that are like, no, we should ban gays, ban this, ban that. And it's like, no, you're an authoritarian. The same just as these people on the left, they're like, no, we gotta ban hate speech, ban this, ban that. It's like you're both authoritarians to different degrees. So, we can't we can't let the pendulum swing from one end to the other, right? We need to try to find a middle ground, at least. And, that's my opinion, at least. But just remember that, the people that are yelling the loudest, that are, virtue signaling the most, are typically projecting. And, just be wary of those people. But if you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See you later.